All right, so I want to show you something pretty crazy. All right, this is my tracking software over here. This is Hyros. And in the last 30 days, we got 270 leads from YouTube, which led to 32 book calls. And we've had 41 sales from YouTube. Now, 25 of these were recurring sales and 16 of them were first-time payments. But again, all of this came from YouTube and it was completely organic. Now, here's the thing. If I wanted to use paid ads to get the same results at $20 a lead, I would be spending over $4,000 a month just on ads. But with YouTube, I'm making 1 to 2 videos per week and YouTube is actually paying me. Okay, so this month alone, I'm going to be making $1,300 from YouTube. I've gained over 4,000 subscribers and the people that come in are more likely to close because they've spent more time with me. I'm telling you guys, this is awesome, okay? So what I want to do this video is because I've gotten so many comments from you guys asking, hey, how do you make your YouTube videos? I'm going to break down my complete YouTube workflow, okay? From research to repurposing all the long form content into short form content so you can exactly see how to use this platform to consistently get more clients without spending a single dime on ads, all right? So let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, so I'm here on my iPad to start this. And when you guys are getting started with YouTube, I think it's important to understand that this does take time. Okay, so for me, I posted for probably 2 to 3 years, right? Consistently. Okay, 3 years of posting before like it really made a big impact in top line of my business and bottom line. Honestly, I just wasn't making a ton. And the reason that was the case is that most of the videos when you first create are going to be more middle of funnel videos. Okay. And the reason for this is because, YouTube is one of the best platforms to really develop a relationship because you can spend a bunch of time with somebody. If you guys were to see my original funnel when I started, and this is still basically the funnel, but I do get a lot more YouTube from top of funnel now, is typically it would look like this. Ads here. A lot of these ads, it would go to either a school mini course or it would go to a VSL, something of value, right? And then every single week, once to twice a week, I make a new YouTube video and I would post that in all the communities. I legit post on every platform. I copy and paste the same thing and I post it on Facebook. I don't even have followers on Facebook. I don't post on Facebook. I just put my YouTube video on there because if I get 2 or 3 more clicks, great, right? I do the same thing on Threads. I do the same thing on Twitter. I do the same thing on Instagram. I do this legit everywhere in my school group, email it out. Like I blast every YouTube video that I create, okay, out because it's a middle of funnel and I need more people who are in my audience to watch this. And over time, they'll start suggesting it to friends. And then over time, YouTube can flop to where it has become more of a top of funnel engine for you. And the bottom of funnel is more than likely going to be DMs/call, right? So someone's going to have a call with you to learn more about what your offer is. Oftentimes we still get people who DM us, hey, I've been watching your YouTube videos. Do you do XYZ? And then we'll book them in for a call. So that's kind of the flow. But as more people, right? Coming back to this section over here, as more people will do red because it's YouTube. As more people watch your YouTube videos, right, in your network, they start telling more people about it. They start viewing longer videos because they're really bought in. YouTube can then become more of a top of funnel platform, right? And then over time, I mean, we're actually not at this stage right now, but I did cut my ads way back because I'm just like full. YouTube can be the top of platform, right? And then you can even run YouTube ads, right? As like demand gen, retargeting ads. These could be YouTube ads in the middle of funnel and also your content. Okay. So I think, most of us are always going to have some sort of ads going for brand awareness, etc. But if you really crack this code, you could have no ads. And that's coming from me, and I love ads. I really enjoy ads, but a lot of our business does come from YouTube because it's just very educational, and also like I'm learning the game of how to get more attention from top of funnel content and stuff like that. So yeah, again, this is kind of the play. When you're getting started, YouTube is middle of funnel content, and we just want to broadcast it out to everybody. And you kind of have to like prove to YouTube that you're going to be consistent for them to start showing you in the algorithm. I've had 2 or 3 videos that have popped and those get a lot of the subscribers. But then once those videos pop and someone sees them, then when they go back to YouTube, you're going to start popping up in their Explore feed. So you're more likely to click on it again, and you'll start seeing the people who see one of your Explore videos. So it's like an Explore video would be like something that's viral. Like you have 1 or 2 videos that go viral, and YouTube organically kind of already retargets people based off of if they've seen one of your videos. So if they see one of your videos, they're more likely to see more of your videos. So they kind of all like play together. But for the time being, if you guys are new to this, like just focus on providing the the best level of value you possibly can and email that thing out. Okay, email it out, post about it. I'm gonna post everywhere, right? Post everywhere. And just tell your friends, tell friends, okay? Tell as many people as you possibly can that you have an awesome YouTube channel and that you can help a bunch of people and that you should go watch your YouTube video, okay? Assuming they're in your network, all right? So that's this. Now, let's jump into my computer and we'll cover strategy right now. All right, so we are back on my computer here and I wanna show you my strategy right now. And I'm not perfect by any means, so I'm always gonna be transparent with that. But the goal that I have when I create content is I like to try to alternate between a value video and a case study video or a client interview, right? Value video, case study. That's kind of my play. And some weeks I miss it, but I was pretty consistent 2 months ago, value video, case study, value video, case study, value video, case study, value video, case study, or actually 2 value videos, missed it this week. Case study, value, all the way through. These past couple weeks, I missed 2, and I think I just did an extra value video instead. That's ideal, right? So, some weeks if I'm traveling, I may not have time to schedule one of those, but what I've noticed, and you'll even see it here, these case study videos have way less views than the value videos do, right? Like way less. But the people who hop on sales calls with me will watch every single one of these videos. And they'll mention things like one of our recent sales. It's like, oh, I really like how Tiffany does this. Like she knew her name, she knew what her offer was, she knew the ad strategy she launched because she watched this video, right? I had one client, a huge client, came from this video here. And they're like, man, if you took this person from, I think he was like 10K a month at 3,000 followers, we took him to 84,000. He's done over 100K a month already, just like 3,000 followers. A bigger brand was like, man, if you can do that with 3,000 followers, imagine what you do with us. And I was like, cool. So like a lot of your people who are considering buying, this is all bottom of funnel content. And it's also like, if you guys watch how I do these, there are more client interviews. And I even start off every video saying, hey, we've been working together for this amount of time. Here's the outcome we achieved together. And what I want to do in this interview is I want to interview them. I want to highlight them. I want them to tell you exactly what they're doing and how they're seeing results. Boom, right? Instead of the video being, hey, let's talk about how awesome I am. It's like, I don't really care about that. I want my audience, all my followers, all my subscribers to follow along and like get something from that video. So instead, I'll just preface it by saying, here's what this video is for. Here's what I want to achieve together on this video or interview. And I'll just interview them about their business, and people from my audience can also take things from that too. That's the entire intent there, okay? And then the value videos, those ones are gonna be more research. So I've gotten a lot better at finding videos that do well, and you can kind of see this. I'm gonna cover this in a second, but this software that I use is called vidIQ. And this is, it shows you 2 things. One is views per hour, how many people watch your video per hour. And then outlier is comparing to the other videos on my account, right? How many more views has this video gotten versus the other views? And this is a good way just to determine like what is a winning video or not. So this is the one that really took off for me 3 weeks ago. And it's probably one of the biggest ones in the Andromeda space right now, which is pretty cool, right? Really, really cool. 43 views per hour. This is where a lot of that, like this revenue came from, was honestly probably just from 1 or 2, videos. And we went from about 5,500 subscribers to almost 10,000 subscribers in like 3 or 4 weeks. And that was just one video, right? We made a decent amount of money off that one video too, right? So really cool, but a big part of the value video is gonna be like research, okay? So I'm about to cover that. That's gonna be step 2, but what we're talking about right now is just the strategy of value video once per week and case study video once per week. If you don't have another case study video, that's fine. You can do another value video. You can just do 2. Now, if you do 2, the key is don't let the second one be crappy. They should be just as good as each other. If not, don't do it, okay? So that's really key. When I first started, I did do 2 videos, and the second one kind of sucked. And then I brought it back and was like, I'm just gonna do 1 value video. And then I did that for about a year, and that actually worked better. I got more views, but I wasn't making as many sales. So then I was like talking with my mentor, and we're like, well, let's just introduce the case study videos as a second video because it doesn't take as much bandwidth. I can still go all in on 1 video, right? And spend a lot of time on it. Like this video here is probably gonna be 30 plus minutes. I've scripted it out shortly and made sections and have all my tabs ready. This is a longer video. But if I was to do this plus another video, the other video, if I filmed on the same day, wouldn't have been good. So don't do more volume just to do more volume if the quality stinks, okay? So now that we covered strategy, let's go through the stages of like all stages of me making these videos all the way to repurposing them. There will be 6 parts to this, and let's get started with number 1. Okay, so part number 1 into creating good YouTube videos is research, okay? So I already mentioned this tool, it's called vidIQ. This is the software that I use, and this helps me identify winning ideas. Ideas/packaging, right? So I can see on here what is a trending topic, and I can also see proven packaging. Packaging is the thumbnail and the title that are used. At vidIQ, I have a free version. They actually just updated this to where I could even filter this based off of views per hour, outlier score. So now that this is here, I may go and get the paid version, but right now I don't, right? Right now I have the free version and I can still see this. So if I go to my home feature and I just want to go to lead generation, okay, because that's a lot of what I do, I can come in here and I can see outlier scores, right? So see this outlier score of 15, 21 views per hour, free cold email marketing course for 2025, 7 hours. So I could easily take this same concept, same idea, and apply it to Facebook, Instagram ads, right? I could put, Instagram ads, full course, and I could make a 7-hour video if I wanted to. It's a long time for me. I probably won't do that, but I could, right? That's an idea. So what I'll do is once a week is I will just spend time, about 30 minutes, just scrolling through, right? I'm scrolling through some of these things here. I've got vidIQ, which is installed as a Chrome extension, and I'm just looking for good ideas. And the second part of this is I use another software called Airtable. That's part 2, but I'm not gonna get there in a second. But what I will do with this, right, is I wanna take a screenshot of this as I'm going through this over 30 minutes so that I can then organize it later, okay? So part 2 is coming up, it is Airtable, but I would just take a screenshot, of this real quick. So I'm like, all right, really like this could work out well, screenshot, all right? And then I'm gonna keep going. I'm looking for other big outliers, how to crush Facebook ads with a small budget 11 months ago. That's an awesome one. So I could just take this one too, right? And I'm just gonna keep doing this for the most part. And I would do this for, again, like 30 minutes or so, right? But I'm looking for big outlier scores. Like, the more, like if they're red, that's better than if they're not, right? Like this one's like a 2, which is really good for him because he's a massive account of 6.5 million subscribers. So that's actually pretty big. Let's see if there's anything else that I like over here. Andromeda, Nana Banana. Oh, this one's crushing it. Okay. So that one is crushing it a month ago, and it's gotten 100x views. So that one's a really good one. Nana Banana is insane. Again, that'd be really more top of funnel, but that's a good video, right? It's proven. How to install, again, the Facebook Pixel and Track events in 2025. Also getting 9 views per hour, so people are still seeing it, right? But I'm just gonna take a bunch of screenshots. Step 1 is just going through and making a big list of here are proven packaging and ideas. Now, when I'm doing this though, again, I do Facebook and Instagram ads coaching most of the time. We do run some campaigns as well, but typically I'm not gonna try to copy somebody exactly. Like what is ideal for me is like, that's why, lead generation is up here, but like this one up here would be ideal, right? This is in a horizontal market, right? It's still lead gen marketing, stuff like that, but it's not Facebook, Instagram ads. Sometimes I will replicate another one. Like I do have one that kind of looks like this, but this one was done 11 months ago. I don't want to take their idea and replicate it identically, right? Within like a short period of time. Like you want to let that thing sit, and ideally you don't just copy. Okay, the whole point of this is see what's working, iterate off of it, but do not copy it word for word. Do not copy the exact one. Change it up. So step 1, again, is research using vidIQ. Step number 2 is going to be planning this all in Airtable. So this is my Airtable base, and you guys will see what it looks like inside of here. It's a Kanban board where I have just topic ideas that sometimes I will just write out as I'm thinking about things, YouTube titles and thumbnails. So these are, I just took all those screenshots, but here's where I would start adding stuff to this, right? So after I finished all of my screenshots, I can just come over here and push add record. I can then just browse files, and then I can look for those screenshots that I uploaded earlier, right? And I can push upload file. And from here, this base, I'll show you how I have this thing set up, but this is where I can do all of my planning for this, right? So all the planning of what's gonna be the hook, what's the thumbnail copy gonna be, my content pillars, all of that stuff. This is part 2, and then I do this all in Airtable. You could use something else like Trello. There's so many different platforms. I just like Airtable. It's where we have a lot of our backend systems for our client stuff too. So title idea. So this one is how to install a Facebook pixel in 2025. So, I mean, this would be hard to not replicate, but let's just do how to set up. That's probably what I would do. How to set up the Facebook pixel in 2025. Content pillar. I have a couple different stuff that I like to talk about. So it's like Instagram and Facebook ads. That's where I get most of my stuff. Instagram strategy / could probably change this to organic. Lead magnet, systems, AI, growing a business, or case studies. So this one would be Facebook ads, right? And I'm trying to go through these pretty fairly. I would say 75% of the content I ideally want to be Facebook, Instagram ads, because that's what I'm building my brand around. And then 25% I kind of will swap between these based off what I'm inspired by or what people ask about. So I got a lot of people requesting how to do your YouTube. That's why I made this video here. All right. Thumbnail copy. I would do a different thumbnail for sure. If I had to guess, this is why this video is 100x is just the title. It's very search engine friendly, and it probably has a pretty good view time. I don't think this thumbnail is very good. All right. So I probably wouldn't use this thumbnail, right? Because it's just not very good, but I would probably put Facebook pixel, even FB pixel setup. I probably wouldn't do that. So it'd be like Facebook pixel, and then I would have, logo of Meta, and then let's just say, the image would be me pointing to the text, right? And then I would also be closer up. Again, I don't like the thumbnail, but it's working, right? And if you're watching this video, you did a good job. Your video's crushing it, so don't listen to me. But if it was me, I probably would have it be a little bit cleaner. You know what I mean? Okay. And then next would be the hook. So this is where I will go to Poppy AI. It's a language model version that I use to help create a lot of content. I will be covering this towards the end when I get to repurposing, but let me just quickly show you guys what I have for this, because I use this board for two things. Number one is that last board I just showed you is kind of like all my repurposing stuff. And this one, I believe I got from Matt Gray. I believe Matt Gray made this. Yeah, I believe he did. It was in one of his other YouTube videos. But he's got in here, whoever this is, they've got the framework, YouTube frameworks. There are, and these are all groups, right? And at the end of this video, I'll have a link to another Poppy video so you guys can watch more about this. But inside of here are a bunch of SOPs for how to make YouTube videos. So they're already in here and they're grouped together. Over here is some of my YouTube videos, and Poppy can analyze all of those. I've got other thumbnails. This is from Alex Ramosi and Ali Abdal. I mean, if I said your name wrong, I'm sorry. They're all here, and these are all proven thumbnails, and then I will just tell it what I'm doing. So like this video right now that you're watching, I wrote in content for new videos. I just dropped in an audio message saying, hey, I'm going to make this YouTube video. Here's what it's about. Can you help me come up with an intro for this video? And what this helped me do, it helps me come up with this same exact script. I showed this to you guys at the start. All right, I want to show you something crazy. This is my tracking software in the last month alone. Here's what YouTube has done. Here's how much it would have cost me from ads. I made this all off of this. And it also helped me come up with my packaging of the thumbnail name, right? Yeah, the title of the video, the thumbnail, all the stuff in there. And I just talked to it about it. So again, this is where I come up with a lot of the names. I'll use an inspiration that I did from part one, and then I will put that inspiration into Airtable, and then I'll come back over here to Poppy, help me come up with the intros, help me come up with the title, as well as any thumbnail adjustments right there. All right. So I'm just come back to this over here. I would work through Poppy. I'd get the hook and I'd just paste it in here. So I'll come back down into here. Here is my hook, right? Boom. And then I'll just loosely bullet it. Okay. I will loosely bullet this. All right. So if I could show you what this video looks like right now, you can see. So this is the video that I'm currently working on. I've got that same exact hook that I just showed you. And then I've got my 6 to 7 points that I'm going to talk about. This is a little bit longer of a video for me, but again, I'm going to show you guys pretty much everything. And I've also linked out Hyros up here too, so I can just open it up when it comes time to record. All right, so that's step number 2, is to map this whole thing out using Airtable. After you've done your research, you use Poppy or some sort of LM model tool to help you come up with headlines, thumbnails, all that stuff. Part number 3 is recording the actual video, okay? So right now, what I've got in front of me, the first thing is going to be the teleprompter. So I have a teleprompter right in front of me. It's the Elgato teleprompter, and I love this thing. This has actually simplified my entire workflow. I used to have 2 monitors and the Elgato in the middle, so I had 3 screens. And now I just have the Elgato and my laptop. Super clean. So that's huge for me. I sit down and I record these videos on Tuesdays. Today's a Monday. I moved some stuff around a little bit this week, but typically I'll sit down and record these videos in full right here with teleprompter right there. On the back end is my camera, right? The camera that I've got right now is a Sony ZV-E10. It's a super simple camera. It's about $1,000. And then I use the Sigma 16mm lens, right? So that is being recorded right now, and it is being recorded directly into an SD card, right? So YouTube, the video, SD card, right? The computer, I have the Shure MV7 mic. I didn't put a YouTube description link for this, but I got a Shure MV7 mic, and this is connected to my computer, okay? This is being synced up, like the screen share and the audio together are being synced up through ScreenFlow, okay? ScreenFlow is what I use. It's a one-time purchase. It's $170, and it's a way better version of like Loom, okay? So like I still send Loom videos for my course curriculum content because I update it so often, or when I'm giving feedback to a client. But the audio quality and the screen like quality of this video is way better, okay? I got this from Sam Ovens, like his group when I was in it. And this is what he used to use. I don't know what he uses now, but this is what I use for all my screen recordings. So when I finish this, right? So when I finish this video, I will have an SD card file with the camera, right? I will have a computer file. This is saved to my computer for audio and the screen recording, right? And a lot of you guys, I get this question all the time, Matt, how in the world do you do the iPad? Well, the iPad that you guys saw a second ago, all I'm doing is I just scroll up on the iPad and I push that record button, okay? And then it saves it to photos. And as long as the audio is turned on, my editor will be able to sync this, right? They'll be able to sync me talking here, me talking on the camera, and me talk, like, because the camera's also got audio on too, and my iPad. Then they will get it together and they will sync everything together based off of the audio, and then they will edit it, okay? And they remove the audio, of course, from the camera as well as the iPad, okay? So I record all these videos just like I'm doing right now. The first intro has a script. After that, I just go off of bullet points, okay? So that's part 3 is recording. Part 4 is editing, okay? So with editing, once I have finished my video, okay, let's say I finished my video, I've got all those audio files. Let me show you guys how I upload this content because I don't do my own editing. I think it's one of the first things you should get off of your plate. I just think it can take a ton of time, okay? So what I have when I finish this video, right, is I have a Google Drive file, okay? And inside of here, I will put the date and I'll put the title of the video. And then you will see I've got my camera file, right? Like I said, camera file, and then I have my ScreenFlow file, which is the recording of the screen as well as my audio. I don't have any with this one, any iPad videos, so just 2 files, okay? So those 2 files go over here. And then my editor has a simple Google form for me to put in my name, the title of the video. I choose video, shorts, or ads because she also does my Instagram and YouTube ads and stuff that for me too. But I'll just put video, and then I will just drop in the link of this Drive file, right? So if I come over here, share, come back over here, boom, raw thumbnail image, I can just click this. And as we did a second ago, I can just upload it here, and then I'll tell her exactly what I want in here, right? So like Facebook pixel, and then Meta logo. Like sometimes I'll put a Loom video in here, just like it's describing the thumbnail and more, right? So I'll upload all this and push submit. And then once that form is submitted, the editor will typically edit this in about 7 days or so. So I film on Tuesdays most of the time. Again, today I'm doing it a little bit early, and then I should get this back in the account and scheduled by the end of next week. So ideally Wednesday or so of next week, right? I would have the videos like provided back to me. We don't really edit that hard either. If you guys see these videos, we cut out the we cut out the dead space. There's pretty minimal edits. Sometimes I do the intro like 5 or 6 times and then I'll have the editor pick the one that was the best. So she's probably laughing now because I do so many takes of the intros. But other than that, like it's very minimal editing across the board. Okay. And then once we get that, so the editor finishes that, they will then send us a file. All right, so I've got this pulled up over here. This is what I get back from the editor once the video has been edited. So she actually tags our marketing assistant. So I don't deal with this anymore. I used to for a while. I would watch every video. I would put it into YouTube and stuff like that, but it wasn't a good use of my time. So I have a marketing assistant that I pay about $1,000 a month to help me like organize my organic content, both Instagram, like short form content and long form content. She will come in there, she'll write the description, she'll do all the uploading, and then I review it for 30 minutes a week. Okay. So here is what the editor will send back. So it says, hey, marketing assistant Emily, here are the testimonial videos for ready for review. So this is for one of the case study videos. And then she also sends me the timestamps. And this is really important for us because if you ever go to, these YouTube videos, let's see if I can pull one up really quick. Let's go to this one. You will see there are timestamps, right? And this is super, there's not timestamps on this one. Only 2 timestamps for this one. So if you put more, it'll have it more breakouts throughout that video, which is super helpful for somebody who's just kind of skimming through and glancing, through this full thing. So you can see here your process, your journey, finding clients, current offer, winning ad sets, close bot setters. So, you can see all the different timestamps. So someone just skimming through, it can be really helpful for them to determine, where they want to watch the video. So that is part of the deliverables that our editing team will send to us. And then she'll send the file, right? And in the file, there are 3 things inside of here. Thing number 1 is the thumbnail, okay? Asset number 2 thing is the actual video, okay?
All right, today we've got...
And then asset number 3 is the transcript. And I'm gonna share with you guys in just a second what we do with this transcript, but this is going to help us repurpose the video before we upload it to YouTube, okay? So this is where I get all the transcript, put it into my language models, make some short form content. It's coming, okay? All right, so that's gonna be part 4. Part 5, once we've done all of this, is gonna be actually uploading this to YouTube, okay? So again, my marketing assistant helps out for this, but we would just come over here to create video, upload video. I would select the file, and I don't think I have any, I do have some videos actually that I could just pull in here. I could just upload the file, and then here, the title, this would be based off of what's shared here. So they would open this up, and you can see the title here, Why Adam Focuses on, rename, on systems and relationships over quick sales. So that's the title of this. I may change this, but this is what the marketing assistant would come in. They would copy this. They would come back over to YouTube, and they would post that there, okay? For the description, this is where, again, we have this transcript. I can just copy and paste this entire thing. And then I can go over to either Poppy AI, I could go to ChatGPT, I could go to whatever my language model is and say, I'll just go ahead and do it over here in a new little window. Here is my most recent YouTube video. Can you come up with a 2 to 3 sentence description? And then I'll just post that entire thing there. And then it'll feed it back out to me on what to put in there, right? So pretty simple. And then what they're gonna do on top of this, so they would just copy this. I do have a little bit more of a template for this. This would come over here and then boom, paste it in the description. And then what we'll do at the top of here is first, we're gonna put the timestamps actually at the bottom, because the timestamps, that's where you put them in the video so that they actually pop up in the video. So I'm gonna come back to this over here, copy this, paste that. And then at the top of this is where I'll typically put my links. And I'll put the links here because, again, this is like, that's above the fold, right? So like, as you guys saw when that thing did load the first time, it just showed these links. And that's kind of what I want. Is like, you want to do this, click this. You want to book a consult, click here. So I typically have both of those right above the fold, and those are going to be above. And I'm going to share with you guys how to make those in just a second. And then down at the bottom, I've got the short little description, timestamps, sign off, and we're good. All right. So that's what we do there. Let's talk about the actual, about these links here. So as you can see, these are bit.ly links, right? But when I started this video off, I showed you guys, hey, look at all these people who have booked calls with us or became leads. And you can see there's an origin that's next to each of these. And the way that happens is we need to have UTM parameters inside of our links. So if someone clicks a link, it needs to have that tag, that YT tag in it for us to see this person came from YouTube. And what this allows me to do is I can actually see, what video is leading to calls, what video is leading to leads, so I can make more videos like that. All right. So when our marketing team gets the video back, I'll typically tell her what the call to actions are in the video so she can then make Bitly links for them, okay? So again, the software that we'll use for this is Bitly, okay? I have the paid version. You could probably use the free version if you like, but you would just put in the destination of where the link is going. So I'm gonna say this is mattshiver.com/ads. That's my mini course, okay? And then I will scroll down, and then the UTM parameters is where I will put the information on where this is actually going, okay? So source, I always put as YouTube. Medium, I would put description. And then the campaign is the actual name of the video, okay? So if I come up over here, I would just copy this title, come back over here, and paste it. So now there's this massive URL right here, right? Once I push like create link, it's gonna make a very small link, right? Tiny link. And now I can come back over here and then I can come in my description and put that, right? So download my free ads course. And then I could just put that right there. And let's put a little emoji here because it looks cool. Download my free Facebook, right? And then if I wanted to put another one, I'll often put like a bar here and then it'd be like book a free consultation call for us, audit your ads, right? I could put something like that. And then I'll put, what else would be a good one? Money bag, all right? And then I'll come back over here and then we'll do that same exact thing, all right? So I've already made one link here. I can just go ahead and create new. I'm gonna do a new link, right? I would do mattshiver.com/schedule, right? And then UTM parameters and YouTube, okay, medium, description, campaign is the name of the video, right? Now, you can automate this. I do have this automated. I didn't want to cover all that in this video, but there are API access tokens or API access you can use with Bitly. So I have a whole automation system that I use that does all this automatically using Airtable. But I wanted to show you the manual way to do this first. And then maybe in the future video, I'll share the automated version, right? So boom, that would be that. And then all I'd have to do from here is I would push next, right? We want monetization. Of course, we want monetization turned on. Yes, please. Video elements. Let's just go next, next. And I haven't done this in a long time. None of the above. Next. I got to submit for rating. Next, next, next. And then what we'll do here is we will make this public, but what we will do, just schedule this. Okay, from private to public. I launch these the same time every single week. I typically do Tuesday at 9 a.m. So I would just schedule this for Tuesday at 9 a.m., select time zone. I'm in Central time zone, right? And then I would push schedule, right? So that's the main stuff. The stuff I did skip through is like if you did want to have an end screen or a card, like where a card would be like, hey, click over here for this guide or whatever, right? Or go watch this video over here. End screen is like, what's the next video that you want them to see? So like at the end of this one, hopefully if it's set up right, should be one for Poppy. Be like, hey, if you want to go learn how to use Poppy, go click over here. And then you can just watch the next video. Okay, so do that and then we schedule it, right? Now the thing is, once it's scheduled, kind of what I said before is this is where we want to promote it everywhere. Okay, so if this is going off at Tuesday at 9 a.m., I have a task at 9 a.m. on all platforms to essentially what I have one email. So I'm going to come back to Poppy AI, right? So I use Poppy for this and I plug in, I have this YouTube video template, right? And then what I will do is I will take that same transcript that my editor gave me, right? I just had to pull it for simplicity. And then I have an entire SOP here for my YouTube videos, right? So here's the exact format. Here's how everything should look for this email. I'll paste it in there and then I'll say, make me an email, okay? And once it does that, it's gonna use that format, that SOP that's up here. And I can then take this same exact thing, I'll put it in my email provider and I'll send it and I will copy and paste this same exact thing on the same time, right? And I will throw it up on Facebook, I'll throw it up on LinkedIn. It is the same thing word for word. And then I'll do it on school. I try to get it everywhere, okay? I try to get it everywhere. Now, the one thing that I didn't mention that helps even more with distribution is having a deep link attached to the video. So a deep link, essentially, it's if I was to send a YouTube video link to somebody on these platforms, like I email it out, I post about it, if they click on their phone, what's gonna happen is youtube.com is gonna open on the Safari, right? You guys have probably done that before. The problem with that is you're not logged in. So if you're not logged in or the user's not logged in, they can't subscribe to you. And if they can't subscribe to you, then they're not gonna be retargeted by you in your future videos, which is a problem. So if you use a deep link, this is like maybe a cent or two per click. Wow, this one got a bunch of views here. Every time you send this out, so I send this out in an email, I post about this, I use this link. So anytime someone opens it, what's gonna happen is they're gonna get prompted to open this up in their app, or they'll just get redirected to their app immediately. So if I go ahead and pull this thing up right here, this is kind of what it'll look like. If I copy to clipboard, it's probably gonna redirect and go straight to YouTube. You don't even know, right? But if it was on mobile, let's go ahead and show what this could look like on mobile real quick. All right, so I'm on mobile. If I paste this in here, you'll see it's trying to open an application. I wanna allow it to open an application, and then boom, the video is right there, right? And this is showing you on AirPlay. It looks kind of weird, but now it's on my phone and it opens up directly to that video. So I can get subscribers, I can get retargeting going pretty much immediately right then and there. All right, so that's step 5. All right, step 6. Okay, last thing that I do once I get this video in, and I kind of already have been using Poppy throughout this. I'm gonna use it for coming up with the title, the thumbnail, and then also the email. But I'll come back into Poppy here. And once I have this template, I have more SOPs and files over here for how to repurpose these videos into short form reels. So this one here, this is from another content creator. I did not make this, but there's a lot of free boards in Poppy of like, YouTube, of email marketing, like of all these boards. And you can just go in there and copy parts of those boards and put them into your own. So, there was a template board. I was like, ooh, I like this reel scripting. I'm gonna copy this entire section and move it over to my board so that I can use it, right? So I pulled that one over here, and here are the 6 SOPs for writing reels. I plugged in my video from last week in here, and I just start at the top. Hey, can you analyze this video and give me 5 viral content ideas? And it goes, based off of this, here are 5 different ideas. And then from there, I picked on 2. I picked 2 of them. I was like, I like these 2. Can you write the script for me, right? And then it goes through the entire script. And it'll tell me what to do visually. It'll tell me like the specific visuals to use, all of that stuff. And then, I don't like it. I'm like, hey, this seems too complicated. Can we simplify it or add analogy or something? And then you kind of work it, massage it out until it's the way that you like it to sound, right? So boom, all that was good, right? And the same thing, I have my best threads, right? Best threads and my best single tweets. And I can also throw the videos into here. And again, I've got a lot going on down here. It's a little messy right now, but I could then take that same video and be like, awesome, you helped me make 5 viral reels. Now let's make these into 5 viral carousels. And whenever it does that, I always typically pick 2 or 3 that I really like. I don't ever use all 5, but it allows me to have some variety. So for me, again, the whole play, kind of zooming back out, if we go back to my channel at the start of this, was I'm gonna have 2 videos per week, all right? I'm gonna have 1 value video and 1 case study video, right? That's the idea, that's the goal. And then the case study videos, honestly, I could do it for both of them, but both of them, definitely the value videos, I'm gonna pull that entire thing, pull the transcript, go back over to Poppy AI, and I'm gonna make all my short form content based on that one topic. So it allows me as the creator to go really ham on that one topic and that one focus, make sure it's really, really good, and then repurpose it as many places as possible. Repurpose it via email, repurpose it via carousel, repurpose it via reel, right? So again, for me, if I sit down and make one banger video, I can now replicate that across a bunch of different channels, right? Again, it simplifies my entire business. All right, so I shared about Poppy a lot in this video. If you guys want to see my entire Poppy system, how I repurpose content, watch this next video over here, and it'll walk you through from start to finish how I'm using Poppy to save a bunch of time and make a bunch of content.